Charles.
I would actually. Well, I have this deck together at least, so I'd be more likely to play the Merfolk deck. But this is where my heart is right here.
Heart in the Berserk Invigorate combo decks.
Yeah, my heart's in that kind of crazy sort of deck there.
Oh, now Christian, something that's interesting is he's kind of been known throughout the whole Magic community before he ever did well in tournaments, which he started doing this year. He kind of was known as like the Belcher guy. Everybody wanted to dodge him. They were always terrified. He was just always the guy playing Belcher. His first Star City Games Open top 8 was with Belcher. He's played in tons of Legacy tournaments with Belcher, and he always has awesome finishes with Belcher. Lately, he has finally stopped playing Belcher. He decided that it's just too much of a gamble. And it looks like he chose Merfolk this week, which is kind of outside of his normal playstyle.
He still seems to be doing all right with it.
Yeah, I mean,
we got him on a feature in round 8, so he can't be doing too bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, Christian's an excellent player. He's also super good-natured. Christian's one of those people who, if you tell him how he could have won a match afterward, Christian will be like all smiles and like nodding his head and be really excited to learn how he can win a match in the future. So
that's good.
Never seen the kid tilt.
Nice. He seems fairly confident just in the brief pan over to him, so we'll see how he does here. I can imagine he's not prepared too much for a deck like this. And that obviously has worked to Charles' advantage all day, we can imagine.
Oh yeah, this is going to be an awesome matchup for Charles.
I love Blighted Agent so much. I love that creature.
Now, I don't know if Christian knows this, but there are a lot of draws Charles has where if Christian doesn't play like a Wasteland on turn 1 and leave it untapped, Christian can just die. And there are a lot of hands that Charles can put together in his opener that have the same result. So Christian needs Wastelands. That's going to be his most important card here.
He's keeping his hand here finally. The movie had a mulligan to 6 there. So we've got an Island from Christian and then a Verdant Catacombs from Charles. Christian plays another island, as Merfolk tends to do. And Silvergill Adept, revealing Lord of Atlantis.
Is this a misstep in Charles' hand? It must be, because he probably would have dazed that. Oh, and he chose not to daze that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of just dazing adepts on site.
They get you a card. I mean, drawing a card from Merfolk is really huge.
Yeah, it's a deck that runs out of cards pretty quickly because it uses force and things like that.
Yeah.
And returning the land to your hand, Merfolk's not really a deck that can apply pressure by emptying its hand very well. So you just kind of want to take the threats off the table as they come. Stace becomes dead very quickly, but you don't get value out of it if you leave it in your hand.
Yeah. Use it as soon as you can. You'll be stuck with it the rest of the game.
Ooh, he has Might of Krosa.
Might of Old Krosa, yep.
It's I believe that's from Time Spiral, and that card gives a creature +2/+2. It's an instant, but if you play it as a sorcery, it gives the creature +4/+4, and it only costs 1 green. So it's a giant growth that's slightly worse at sorcery speed and slightly better at sorcery speed. Slightly worse at instant speed, slightly worse at sorcery speed.
Blighted Agent is allowed to resolve.
And that's going to be a huge problem for Christian. Christian, his real only out to that is Sower of Temptation, and he doesn't look to have one in his hand. He's also stuck on, he only has 2 lands in play, so he's going to have to play a 3rd. Alright. He goes ahead and plays Lord of Atlantis. Charles is going to daze this.
He's actually holding the 3rd land. I'm surprised he didn't play it. I guess he must have thought that he didn't have the daze at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt you would expect daze from somebody who's playing Blighted Ancient also.
True. Yeah, so he does Wasteland there, so. Charles now only has 1 land, so we got a Rancor on there. That's going to get out of hand pretty quick.
Yeah, that's essentially a 6-power unblockable creature right now.
3 poison counters for Christian. Christian's going to play Mirror Reejerey. Reejerey will resolve, and he's going to get in there for 3 with the Silvergill Adept. Let's see if Charles can just steal a win out of nowhere here with the Bladed Agent. There's a second land, attacking in for 3. He's actually just going to just take 3.
Players of looking standings, you believe you are in position to make the top 8. Please bring a sword.
Oh, do we know, is Blighted Agent a merfolk? Does he get a bonus from Lord of Atlantis?
If you think you are going to make the top 8, please sort your deck and bring it to the main stage.
I know Rejury's...
Rejury's only you control, but just out of curiosity for the matchup, that would be pretty interesting. Because I know Christian does have additional lords in his hands, so...
Well, if my internet would work at all today, we would have that answer a lot faster. My instincts tell me no. Like, I want to say he's like a human rogue or something weird like that. But,
Alright, so... Yeah, Christian does not have a sower from the looks of things. Now, you know what card Christian would want in his sideboard more than any other card against this deck? Spellskite.
that's true.
Rancors, every pump spell. It's got 4 toughness to eat up some Blight Mamba hits.
And I was right.
Human Rogue.
Human Rogue, right. So
Human Rogue?
Twitter, for some reason, is working, but my stupid browser isn't.
Okay, so Blighted Agent is not a merfolk.
Which would be kind of hilarious. Alright, so he's going to take 3, 4, taking a 9 there. He needs a pump spell now.
Yeah, he just needs a pump spell. And I believe Christian probably has like a force. Like a
Okay, well.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a quick game 1 there.
Wow.
I figured there'd be quick games anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, now Charles has 4 Berserk, 4 Might, 4 Invigorate, and 4 Rancor. So kind of unlikely for him to not draw a single pump spell throughout the duration of that game.
Right. He only had the 1 Rancor, which... No, apparently not.
I'm also surprised that Charles chose not to play the free pump spell.
I've actually been working on a kind of a version of this for Standard. Kind of going more in the black direction, but I kind of want to go black-blue for Blighted Agent and Plague Sting.
I think I would go mono black if I was playing Standard Infect right now because if you have a Lash Wraith in play and 6 swamps,
that's very true.
Skithirex is a one-hit kill.
Yeah, that is very true.
And that just seems awesome to me. You just I think a lot of people are actually going to stop playing like Hawks, maybe like replace them with Mirror Crusaders and things like that as the new Standard format progresses.
Yeah. I have to say Mirror Crusader was sort of War and Peace.
Oh yeah, it one-shots people.
Yeah. I'm surprised we didn't see any of that this weekend, but
literally, the only thing that happens is like gets bounced by Jace. It's the only way to effectively answer it.
But I mean, if you're on the play, it doesn't even matter. I mean, or if
you're spell skiting, like you
just got it on turn 4. Like,
it's true. I mean, nobody's going to be playing any counter magic for a little while. Like, I mean, obviously Edgar won with counter magic, so maybe I'm being crazy, but. My understanding of what happened yesterday is that discard spells were proven to be the way to go in your Clawblade decks.
Yeah, those are all over the place.
Now, look at these sideboards here. Now, Charles has access to... I mean, I guess he might bring in Spell Pierce here. His sideboard is Submerges, Reverend Silence, Pithing Needle, Spell Pierce, and Ravenous Trap.
Spell Pierce would protect him against the counter spells on his own pump spells. I don't know how necessary that really is.
Yeah, and Christian's definitely bringing in Mizawa's Jitte.
Yeah, that seems pretty easy.
And Submerge.
Yeah, Submerge will definitely come in.
So Christian has a lot of sideboard here. He has 5 cards he's bringing in.
Yeah.
What do we think Christian's going to take out here? We have... He might take out some of like the slower guys, like not Sower because it's really good here, but maybe like some Sovereigns.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I'm not really sure what he takes out.
Being on the draw, maybe he takes out the Dazes. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess the Daze might just be bad here too.
Mental Misstep obviously stops many of the pump spells, so he probably keeps that in.
Yeah.
Although he didn't see any of the pump spells, to be fair. So,
That's true. He actually did not see any
He
of the
saw
pump
like
spells.
Rancor, so I mean he knows there's Rancor. I can only imagine that.
I mean, I'm
if
sure he
sees
assumes
Rancor,
if he's seen a blighted agent, he's expecting the kid to berserk his face.
Yeah. It seems likely.
You want to tag out?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I haven't taken this
All right.
match, but
Figured you would.
yeah, I was very hesitant. to
Joey
get up and
Pasco
go.
joining us back in the booth.
I'll be back in
Again,
the
this is Jacob Van Lunen here with Joey Pasco. We're at the Star City Games Legacy Open here in sunny Orlando, and this is round 8. It's a win and in for top 8, and we have Christian Valenti playing Merfolk against Charles Schutt playing Blue-Green Infect.
Yeah, it sounds like standard, right? Like, well, I mean, it's not even doesn't even sound that much like standard. It's kind of like if I saw a Blue-Green Infect listed standard, I'd be pretty excited too. But in Legacy, I mean, Drew Levin wrote an article about this. I don't know if you guys already brought this up, but like a pump infect deck, you know, and obviously the list. I don't know if this is how similar this is to the list that Drew put out, but you know, all these pumps to really make for an interesting kind of explosive deck, or potentially explosive deck.
Yeah, it can kill people on turn 2.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So basically the only blue spell that he really needs the blue for is Blighted Agent, right? I mean, he
Yeah,
needs
that's
the
it.
islands to return for days, and he needs, he potentially can pay for the Mental Misstep.
If he wants to.
Right.
Who pays for that thing?
Yeah, really. Did we
I pay
see
2
any-
life on principle.
Yeah.
And,
I don't need to tap any mana. Yeah, just leave it there.
I've actually only seen one mental misstep paid for today, and it got dazed because the guy paid for it.
Oh wow. That'll teach you. You don't pay
So
mana
people-
for Mental Misstep.
The card is good because it costs no mana.
That's funny. It's funny because I think several people were kind of expecting there to be less dazes in the format, but I've been seeing them all day. I mean, both of these decks are on 4.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought, like, well, people don't know what cards to cut, so people are probably just going to cut Daze for Mental Misstep. But then people started realizing that Daze and Mental Misstep work really well together, because the format of Mental Misstep is a format where people just really don't want to play 1-drops. Like, they're like important 1-drops.
Right, so
So,
it makes days better, you know?
yeah, they play higher casting of spells.
So Christian led on Island, and Charles on a Forest, and then a fetch land, the Tropical Island for Charles.
Huh, this is interesting. Charles doesn't have a 2-drop?
Yeah.
I'm surprised he kept.
Yeah, I'm
He doesn't
thinking-
have any sort of guy.
What-
Or an
yeah.
Inkmoth.
What-
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I thought he
does.
passed. I
he
thought
passed
the hand
too.
motion was a pass.
It did look like that to me too. So that Bladed Agent again?
It
Or is
is.
that okay? Not used to the new artwork yet. Still getting used to it. Like turning my head sideways here. Like, what is that?
Christian's going to force this, which is really good. I mean, if Charles can't resolve like something like a Blighted Agent or can't keep like an Inkmoth Nexus on the table, Christian's deck, like, he can probably race his opponent while just throwing random chump blockers in front in the turn before it's lethal.
Right. I'm almost surprised that Christian was able to take down the last game the way it was looking, but besides Rancor, no other pump spells seems pretty brutal. I mean, with all those pump spells in the deck.
Yeah. There, Charles, actually, this time he decided to go ahead and daze the Adept.
Yeah. Which you said would have been a better play earlier, or in game 1.
Yeah, and I think the game played out in a way where like that actually turned out to be relevant. Like,
Yeah.
Christian had exactly enough cards like to get there, like put lethal on the board the turn before. So, I mean, maybe Charles just like after game 1 like went through the game in his head and said like, okay, what went wrong in that game, and then he figured it out. And this game, when the same situation came up, he got to make the correct play. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that's really important, is just having the ability to like look back and see your mistakes and learn from them as opposed to being upset by them.
Yeah, being able to do it quickly too, just in between games, and realize it is pretty valuable. So there's another Blighted Agent. Is that Might of Old Krosa in his hand?
It is Might of Old Corrosa. I believe he also has a Rancor in hand.
Yeah. Is that? So what is that?
That looks like a Glistener Elf?
Yeah, that could have been Glistener Elf. It's hard to tell. There's the Rancor.
It might have also been like an Invigorate.
Right, or like
The art on that is similar, right?
Yeah, I think
in
it may have
passing.
been
It's not like actually similar, but
no, I know, like
color
from far
wise,
away,
yeah.
right? That's all you can really judge by a lot of times from our point of view.
I mean, if he has Invigorate, he might just kill Christian right here, like the next turn.
That would be pretty exciting. I'd definitely like to see something happen. You know, the Invect deck do something exciting. Didn't make it this far for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing around 8. He's 7-1. So.
Wonder what he lost to.
I mean, I imagine he's probably weak to like decks that have a lot of like spot removal, things like that. So, like any sort of like junk deck would probably be pretty rough for him.
Yeah, also making him discard his pump spell is pretty relevant. The little guys aren't that impressive on their own. So there's a Rankle for the Blighted Agent. And there's a Might of Old Crowset.
Oh, it's a Berserk. That's the other card was.
Oh, wow, that's pretty relevant. Berserk, dead?
Bazoik.
There it is.
That'll
There's
do
that
it.
exciting play that I was hoping for.
And that's it. You just attack with a Blighted Agent, and the game ends.
That deck was faster than the internet here because I was trying to look up Invigorate just to try to confirm, and it still hasn't loaded. I think it's just Joe's computer.
Charles Schutt Infect. Faster than the internet.
Yeah. So I don't know what you guys discussed as far as sideboarding goes, but
It looks like Charles really doesn't have anything to bring in, which is fine. I mean, Merfolk has got to be... It really has to be like one of his best matchups. He got very unlucky to lose the first game.
yeah.
I think Christian can side in a whole bunch more. Christian's got a Sower, 3 Submerges, and 2 Jits.
Okay.
So Christian brings all of that in. The major issue for Christian, though, is he's got to ask himself like what cards he takes out for those.
Yeah.
And he's either going to make the choice of, siding out Disruption, which seems like very scary
Really
against
bad,
Charles' deck, or he has to side out Guys, which makes the card like Jit, which is the absolute trump card, like significantly worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like he needs to take away from his clock or his basically his offense or his defense kind of thing. But he wants to, like in game 1, he obviously was able to put just enough pressure on to take the game just in time.
Yeah.
And so being able to.
And that's like the challenge of the Merfolk is you need to find that balance because you're an aggro deck, but you have these control elements, and if you don't have enough control elements, you're going to lose. But if you play too many control elements and don't have enough aggro, then your opponent can just power through because all your control elements are like card disadvantageous, tempo advantageous plays.
Did you guys talk about what you played? I got.
Oh, we did, yeah.
So I see your decks in there. I think.
Yeah, I
you
played.
played something with Breakfast. I heard.
I played a breakfast deck. Yeah.
I know Flores is not Edgar Flores. Mike Flores, big fan of the.
I love this deck so much. Flores actually, like when he first played it in Edison, that's what got me excited about the deck.
Okay.
And I liked their list, but I didn't like the life combo. I thought it was unnecessary, and I also didn't understand why people weren't playing 4 Eldamri's Call. They had 4 Worldly Tutor and 4 Living Wish, but not 4 Eldamri's Call.
Right.
And I just decided I'd bring the deck up to like 12 tutors. Just playing 8 Demonic Tutors seems really good.
Yeah, it does.
So I mean, it takes an extra color to play the full 12 Demonic Tutors, but it worked out pretty well.
What did you end up? How many? I guess what was your record at the end?
At the end, 5-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you lose to?
I lost to Merfolk, and I lost to Painter with Magus of the Moon. And Magus of the Moon on turn 2 twice.
Yeah, that's not easy to get through.
And Merfolk's actually a pretty good matchup. I played against Merfolk 3 times, and I won the other 2. But I'm mulliganing a lot in one game, and it's weird. Like, it's really easy to fight through their counter magic if you don't mulligan. Like, if you get like a keepable opener,
right?
Because they like get behind by using cards like Force and stuff, and eventually, like, you're playing so many tutors that eventually your combo just gets on the table and you win. But if you mulligan, like, they can kind of stay at parity with you and just like beat you down. And you usually die like from their attacks if they're like constantly leaving open stuff, but around like turn 5 or 6, and just can't put it together.
I'm kind of surprised as a player who's sort of new to Legacy. Now, I've really 6 months, I guess, is about the only time I've been paying attention to Legacy, and I'm just surprised at how popular Merfolk is, and at the same time, like how strong it is. It just seems like it's always a presence. It's always a threat. I mean, with Alex Bertoncini around, it's definitely always a threat. It seems like
he just dominates with the deck all the time.
And you know, it's just, I guess, was one of those things that was interesting to me, how also consistent the deck is. Very, you know, the lists all very similar. Couple slight changes. That's it. But interesting list.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I really like about Christian's list is that he has a 13th island. One of my biggest complaints when I've looked at Merfolk decks, like since the beginning of Merfolk decks and Legacy, is that you keep seeing these decks with like 10, sometimes like 9 islands and all these double blue spells. And I mean, a lot, like the math of a proper mana base has kind of been like this fuzzy zone that's not talked about really in competitive Magic anymore. But in order to play a card like Lord of Atlantis in your deck, like there's no way you can be playing 9 islands. So they were like really leaning on their vials before, and Christians chose to, you know, I'm not going to play any factories, and I'm going to play 21 lands.
Yeah.
So he's not cheating at all. He played it safe, and it's working out.
Yeah, I know. Back in San Jose, Gavin and I were doing the coverage, and one of the guys that top 8'd, we kept joking, calling his deck Sweet 16 because he forgot his Mutavaults at home, and instead of putting like islands in their place, he put Spell Piercers. And so he was running 16 lands, and he made top 8, or at least he was in contention for top 8 near the end. I can't remember if he top 8'd it, but it was just such a shock to me where the decision-making process where he's like, I don't have Mutavault, I'll play a spell. You know, it just doesn't seem like there's any logic there. But Game 3, Christian leads with a turn 1 island into an Aether Vial. Pretty strong play for a Merfolk deck, about exactly what he wants to do, but for the clock anyway.
Ooh, Charles has a Glistener Elf.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong turn 1 play for the Infect player too. This one could be quite a battle, depending on what else the guys have in their hand.
Christian does have a Curse Catcher in his hand at the very least, so.
Yeah, should help things a little bit.
It's an emphatic motion there.
Yeah.
All right, Christian's going to main phase an Adept and reveal his Curse Catcher. I think Charles has a Berserk in his hand. I'm not sure how much other pump he's got, but
Yeah, it's
the game could just end right now.
Lotus Petal.
Ooh, yeah, the game's probably ending right now.
This is,
Charles Schutt putting up a 7-1 in Legacy. I hate to make the fat lady sing here, but if you play the Lotus Petal there, it seems very unlikely that you're going to do anything except win.
Yeah, there's Berserk, definitely. It's the only white border card probably in the deck besides Duels.
Oh, wait, Christian has Submerge in his hand?
It does look like a Submerge, but he's
so
vialing in Curse Catcher.
Huh, okay, so this is certainly not over as opposed to what I thought before.
So Curse Catcher going to block the Glistener Elf. And Might of Old Kosa, what's that with that?
Invigorate.
Oh, that's Invigorate, okay.
Yeah.
That one's the one, gain 3 life, or your opponent gains, is it 3 or 4? It's 4 according to that, I thought it was 3. But, and it gives them +3/+3, I think. Is that right?
Yep.
It seems like it breaks even, but it doesn't when you're playing Infect and don't care about their life total.
What are these last 2 cards are?
Should that be those are all Berserks. That's 3 Berserks. It's the new From the Vault Berserk. That's what that was.
Oh wow,
In his
Christian.
hand, three
Oh my
Berserks.
gosh.
He's like, I got 3 Berserks. Can you stop all 3? Hey, Berserk grants trample, right?
Yes. Submerge. And that's it.
Wow.
That's gotta be game. Like Charles is down to just one Berserk left in hand, or 2 Berserks left in hand, and no guy. So I didn't realize Christian had the Submerge there. I thought it was over for Charles.
I thought
I thought it was a daze.
That was confusing. The way deciding to drop all 3 berserks onto the table seemed like a bad
Yeah,
idea.
I guess he did not expect. I mean, he's lucky that Christian didn't, call him on it and
make him lose all those.
lose all those berserks. I mean, now Christian's still in a really big big quandary here, though, because all Charles has to do is draw a single, any pump spell, and those berserkers in his hand are lethal.
Yeah. He's looking at the berserk in the graveyard. I didn't realize there was a new berserk either. The artwork, I think that's what threw us off too, because I think there was a berserk in his hand.
He's asking if it doubles up. So yes, it does.
As far as like doubling, like first berserk doubles, then double that, and double that kind of thing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense to me. I mean, it should. I remember when I first started playing, the berserk was one of those cards that it was already like expensive, back in the 90s, and I was like, that card seems so good, but it really wasn't. It's good here.
Here, it's pretty awesome.
When you're a kid just learning the game, and you're like, that does what?
What does this card even do?
Yeah, giant growth. Forget that. I'm gonna play berserk on my Force of Nature. So Wasteland takes out the Tropical Island. Meanwhile, Christian's side of the board has Silvergill, Adept, Lord of Atlantis, and an Aether Vial. I'm not sure how many counters are on that vial.
I'm actually really surprised that Christian went ahead and
swung with that?
I mean, no, he played that Wasteland because his guys were unblockable.
Oh, right, yeah.
That. But, I mean, it's still the same clock. He doesn't have another guy to put into play after the Lord, so the Lord itself is not unblockable.
Some math.
Yeah, I think he's probably just going to get in there with both, right?
Yeah.
I can't see him.
Is he going to...
He has to block or else he dies, so...
Mutable.
And...
Depends on what Charles drew.
Yeah, Charles needs... And... Yeah, that's it.
Wow. Just a daze. Not going to help. Man, it's kind of I don't know that it would have mattered, but unfortunate that he just kind of dropped his entire hand onto the table.
Yeah.
I don't